Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge. My name is Josh, and sorry I look like a bag of smashed apples. I just woke up, and I wanted to cover this whole situation that Without a Crystal Ball just kind of released yesterday. There's a video, her link to her video is below. Go check it out. She covers it in really good detail. But basically, the apology video that Myka came out with, or the apology Instagram thing that Myka came out with, says that we are not being investigated. And literally, they were being investigated. And so I just want to cover a couple of the things that are going on in the update with H and everything going on with that, because it's just not done. It's worse. Like, it keeps getting worse. It's crazy. So without understanding the whole file, which I wish I had to show you and I would read it to you, maybe I'll get that. I have requested the Facebook group, somebody get the access to information for it, and maybe I'll read it to you. But basically what Katie from Without a Crystal Ball said, that she read this one. She said, I spoke with Assistant Prosecutor Beth Mattoon, who's working with Redacted, in regards to Redacted. Mattoon advised that there is not much information that can be provided in regards to the adoption process. It states the legal process. Makes sense, right? You're not going to give anybody information on adoption processes. Which then begs the question, why are people who adopt kids allowed to just put them on the internet willy-nilly when an adoption agency is not allowed to talk about things? But a parent can put out all the information they want, like the Stauffers did. Every bit of information about H, all of his issues, his problems, and everything. She put it out there. That's just shows me there that this shouldn't be allowed, right? Mattoon stated that a foreign adoption has to be finalized there first. And when they came back to the States, they had the option to finalize the adoption here, but it's not required. Mattoon stated the adoption was not finalized here. Why? Why not finalize the adoption? Was there, again, this always begs the question, this always brings me back to why? Was this going to be something not long-term? I don't get why you wouldn't finalize an adoption. You can make a video out of it. Hey, we finalized the adoption and give us some money. Mattoon stated that this secondary adoption is through a private adoption agency, Redacted, and Redacted would not be involved. Mattoon stated probate court would do the adoption process, but the private adoption agency will conduct a home study and then the judge accesses that. Mattoon did contact Redacted, and they stated the process is confidential and there's no information that they can provide. So the assistant prosecutor for Delaware County, Ohio, whatever, Sheriff Department, is Beth Mattoon. So she couldn't get much, but she found out that the adoption wasn't finalized, which to me is just why? I'm so confused about that. Okay, so I advised Redacted that the allegations of human something redacted with Redacted were due to money that was donated from their journey of him coming home from Redacted. I advised the concerns that they used the money for something other than the adoption, and he was given away to someone. It's not true. We know that. A Redacted state they did do a GoFundMe a long time ago when they started the journey of the adoption, and they earned a total of $800. This is what's pissing me off, and Katie as well from Without a Crystal Ball. They earned way more than $800. Their lawyers have said to say this. The GoFundMe we started, the initial GoFundMe only made $800. So then they started the puzzle piece thing, and they got money from Cummins from James's work. So this is disingenuous at best. That they said, oh, we got 800, and it went towards the initial home study. Except, why didn't you talk about the PayPal funding that you got that funded the whole adoption? This is super gross. I'm super pissed about that. Redacted stated 8 years ago he spent $34,000 to adopt his daughter. I don't know what that is about. I advised Redacted that the referrals came with a request of well-being checks of the biological children as well. I advised the concerns of the children not doing well with Redacted being gone, with H being gone. That's sad. The kids, I advised of the concerns of the children not doing well with H being gone. As much as there might have been issues, kids develop bonds, right? Kids develop attachments, especially adopted kids. They have a ton of problems with attachment, but kids attach. It's literally what they do. Kids attach to people. This is why this is so sad and it makes me so angry. He was attached. They do that. I advised that we needed to know that children are happy and not being redacted. States that she got several phone calls after redacted so we could get a break from being redacted. Stated they received multiple calls from people they had watching their show, I imagine, including medical professionals, and they stated they couldn't take care of him anymore. Stated multiple people had quit on them while they were redacted. Stated it was because redacted had said Stated it was because H had such severe aggression towards other kids. I don't believe it. So many people are quitting on, look at this statement. So many people are quitting on the Stauffers. Could it have something to do with how bad she is as a person? Like that she wanted this person to come in and do everything for her? Probably wanted them to clean and cook and do everything while she did her videos. And the people are like, this is not what I'm hired for. Probably. This is, again, hearsay. This is pure conjecture. These people are quitting on the Stauffers, not H. These people are professionals. They do this for a living. Why would they quit on a kid when this is what they do for a living? Something is not adding up here. There's too much that they're not telling us, that they didn't tell the investigators. Something's crazy. I'm going to continue on. Redacted stated one of the many reasons that contributed to Redacted was that the Redacted had to hire someone full-time, which is very expensive, but they needed to keep H safe and the other kids safe. Redacted stated Redacted was physically to their other kids. Stated they have video of this thing. Of course they have video of it. They have video of everything. They recorded everything. And stating they have video of it, what is that? Is that proof that a 4-year-old with autism is aggressive? Okay. This, again, it goes back to the same thing. This is what you wanted. You wanted this. So it's just saying you have video of it where you're going to show a cop a video of a 4-year-old being aggressive, the cop's going to laugh at you. Redacted stated it's not uncommon to see kids who are adopted overseas, especially in Russia, because of fetal alcohol. These kids typically do not do well in homes where they're younger children. Redacted stated ideally in his opinion or his recommendation is that the placement or replacement of these kids take place in a home with no children or an older child or two. So they were told that these types of adoptions are way better off with homes without other kids. And so what do? They know all these issues. They know the problems. And they continue on because they need to make this YouTube money. They continue it. Even knowing these types of adoptions are really hard on kids that come into your biological kids already and on the kids who are coming in. And yet they continued. Are they trying to justify saying, well, they didn't know? They knew everything. Redacted stated, not where there is too many people or where the child cannot get one-on-one attention or supervision they need. Yes. H clearly needed one-on-one attention all the time. Needed it. And she couldn't do it. And then she had another baby after having all these issues. Let's just have another kid. That'll solve all the problems. Oh my gosh. This is making me way more mad. Redacted stated if they turn their back for 1 second and something happens where he does something as he gets older, stronger, physical, grabs something, or does something to hurt one of their little kids. Yeah, but you don't know he's going to do that. If he gets the right therapies and everything else, things could turn out really good. But they didn't even want to give it a chance. Redacted stated it is a major concern to the family and to them. This is so sad. Redacted stated her adult family members, like her dad, who was a big guy, and he told her he couldn't keep Redacted safe from other kids because he couldn't help Redacted. Because he couldn't help. Whatever. A 4-year-old? Come on. A big guy couldn't help a 4-year-old. F off. Redacted stated there were private therapists coming in home from Redacted for 7 hours a day. Redacted stated the therapists have it all documented in all their papers from the 7 months that they were there. Redacted stated 2 to 3 therapists were there every day for 7 hours a day, and they contrived to control H, which was all documented in medical records. Redacted stated the therapists were there for 7 months, and in the last 2 months, they told her there was nothing else they could do to help. Professionals are telling you there's nothing else they can do. And this is all written in the file. I would like to interview this professional and ask them, are you serious? So this kid is so far gone, nobody can help. But we're going to get to that in a second. Redacted stated it had gotten so severe that even they cannot control the behaviors. Redacted stated it was ABA therapy, which was for Redacted, and it stood for Analyzed Behavioral Analysis Therapy. Redacted stated that at the end of the ABA therapy, they had to hire someone else 24/7 to keep an eye on H so he wouldn't be in contact with the other kids. So near the end of his stay at the Hotel Stauffer, he wasn't even allowed contact with the other kids. And it didn't occur to anybody else that maybe it's this whole world this pressure they're putting on him to do all these videos and all these things that they're doing that was making it worse, that they couldn't actually give him the attention and love that he deserved and needed. Instead, they were focusing on themselves and their videos because that's how they make their money. This is the point in this whole story where these effing douchebag people should have taken time off YouTube and shut down everything and spent every waking moment they could have to help this little kid. This is the moment that they could have made a real difference in someone's life. Instead, they said, we can't do this. We can't even hire people to do it. Redacted stated that Redacted would chuck toys at the other children and try to punch them in the head. Redacted stated that Redacted would take registers out of the floor in his room and try to beat the kids with them. Redacted stated it was a very traumatic experience for the kids, and she has a little boy that will be in therapy for a long time. You chose this path. You made your bed. You lie in it. Stop putting blame on this little guy. You imagine these police and these officers sitting, or whatever, the investigator sitting in there, and she's just naming off all the bad things that this toddler did, as if like, oh, he's so bad, he's the worst person ever, and my kids are now going to go through things. She's separating her kids from this, and he was never part of the family, just based on this statement. He was never part of the family. She says it was a very traumatic experience for the kids, and she has a little boy that will be in therapy for a long time because of this guy. He was on the outs way before this all happened. And so now you've subjected your other kids to this big situation, and now they're going to be in therapy, and it's all H's fault. There's no blame to be placed on your shoulders, James and Myka. You effing, oh my God, I hate these people. I'm trying to be a Jesus lover, and I am, and I try to really take a look at things, but as I see this more, it's so irredeemable. Redacted stated her little boy would have bite marks all the time from Redacted stated when Redacted went to his new home, her little girl told her, I'm so happy I don't get to get punched in the head anymore. Look how much blame they're placing. Like, it's just like, feel sorry for us because H, this 4-year-old, was traumatizing our family. He was out of control and we couldn't do anything about it. Feel sorry for us. And my daughter was like, I'm so glad I don't get punched in the head anymore. You're raising your kids to be just like you. This is going to be so damaging to your kids in the long run. Redacted stated they did their very best to keep him safe and protected, and stated it had to happen, and her doctor told her Redacted needed a better fit. The doctor probably said that because the doctor saw that these people were ridiculous. They saw that he wasn't going to get the care that he needed from these idiots. He saw that it's going to be better off if he goes somewhere else because you guys are unwilling to help him. And so, yeah, in the long run, I can now see a doctor saying, you should probably put this kid in a better home, a more caring home, a place full of love that you clearly don't have. So the doctor was right in this whole thing. And we all say, well, what kind of professional would say that? But imagine how bad it would have to be for a doctor to tell you, get rid of your kid, you're terrible at this. This speaks volumes more than anything else. Katie went on to say, because I don't have the statement, so I'm just going to go with what she said, that he's doing really well with the other family. So, I really, really, really hate what they did to this guy. They brought him here. But she says he's in a new home with older children, doing very well with the new family. It's awesome. The police went over and they sat down with him and he said, Mama, could you imagine? Like, we know, we hear from her saying, oh, he only signs and does all this stuff because she didn't give him the attention care he needed. And this new family obviously is doing that. And he's saying, ready, set, go. And he's saying the word go and he's saying mama and he's happy and you can see that. And that's so good, right? Doesn't that feel good to know that he's doing well? And that above all that, when the cops sit down in their living room and talk to the Stauffers, all they did was project blame onto him. He's in this new place doing very well. And they're like, we just had it so bad. He terrorized this household. Blah, 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 blah. It's just really, really difficult to say this stuff. You adopted so you were told, you were told, don't bring a kid that has possibly fetal alcohol syndrome, or any adopted kid for this matter, or warned to say, look, if you bring him into a house with a bunch of other kids, it's going to be really hard on you. But it didn't sway her. No. She's the white savior. She'll do whatever she wants because she needs these views. She needs to capitalize on this thing that they already decided they were going to do. From that first video where they said, we're going to adopt number 4. Yeah. And as soon as that algorithm destroyed and hit and made money, they had no choice but to continue. And to find the easiest way to get a kid to their house was to find a kid with autism and these issues because they're easier to adopt. How gross and dirty is that? They had a nanny who won't speak. Nanny of the Stauffers, if you're out there or know of all these professionals that have quit on them, I will keep you anonymous. You reach out to me and we will talk. I would love to talk to you. I have a nanny 24 hours in this house. It just speaks to volumes again that they are not a family that takes care of their own kids. They're only interested in doing YouTube and making videos and being famous. They hire people to do all the parenting, and then they just take a video of the best part of it. These people are disgusting. So apparently Katie went on to say that the whole duct tape thing was a bad error of judgment. Imagine, and my kid sucks his thumb. He's 5. And it does get red and raw sometimes. And we are concerned about it. And we tried Mavala Stop one time, which is like the nail polish you put on the thumb. And he just like bawled his eyes out and was like snot everywhere. Self-soothing is really important. Find a way for these kids to soothe. But putting the duct tape, they admitted it was like, oh, it's a bad judgment call. You think? And that apparently that buying a $200 thumb guard that he was just going to tear off, she was getting frustrated that she was wasting money. Remember where your money came from first. You crotchety, disgusting person. All of the money that you're spending anyway was his. He made it for you. It was because of him. So she's pissed at how hard it is to keep him safe and how expensive it is and all that stuff. 24-hour nanny, 24-hour support, 24-hour this and that and that. Except what he needed was love and attention. He needed your eyes to be on him, not with a camera like this. Not with the fake person you are with a camera like this. He needed you guys to be parents to him, because that's what adoption is about, is to be parents to a kid who is parentless, who doesn't have a place to have parents. To be an adopted parent is like you're a superhero. I'm not saying I'm a superhero, because but people who adopt kids are like superheroes. They are becoming that person that kid doesn't have. These kids don't have anybody. I was abandoned when I was a kid. I've been living on my own since I was 17. I know how hard it is to be without a parent. And so this kid is now off in this world, in this house, and from a place he doesn't know. And he's just out on an island. He's nobody to them. He is a way to make money. And then they just complain. It's just all his fault all to the end. They will not take blame. I don't care if he's violent. I don't care if he burns your house down. I don't care if he stares at you when you eat. You need to be his parents because you asked for it. You literally sought out this thing. But he's safe, thank God. And to the new parents out there, I'm sure you're watching all this. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for taking him in and for actually loving him and for looking him in his eye and being parents to him. Thank you. I know this is probably... You probably don't want to hear it. I don't know. I hope we never have to hear about anything else from him. I hope he lives his life out awesomely. I hope you change his name back to what it was, Quan, I think it was, or something else. Thank you. Thank you for taking him, for doing good things. I hope you didn't have to pay. I hope there was some gross thing that went down behind the scenes to the Stauffers. I hope not. I hope that he has an amazing life and that you guys just help him in every way possible. Then he just becomes this flourishing young man and continues to be so happy and has a room with toys and has a place to be loved and not outcast as the other kid who gets put to bed early so that he can hang with their other kids, and that those other kids are just... I just want to say thanks to those parents who did that. This is such a crazy, hard story to hear, and that this just keeps getting worse. And this investigation that Myka said didn't happen, that actually happened, where they just sat down on a couch with these investigators and said, this is how bad it was. I hope the investigators left that house and just said, F that lady. What a piece of shit. Is probably what they said. In their giant mansion with their Range Rovers and Mercedes and BMWs and everything else, walked into this place, probably knowing that he paid for all that. And all they did was just shut him down. All they did was bash him behind his back and just say all these things. Because he cannot think. Remember this. H can't stand up for himself. He can't say it. H doesn't have the ability to rebut their issues and their problems. It's all what they say. The people he trusted that everybody's going on. Don't forget that. not formally adopted. Duct tape. Something is gross here. Something is way off. And I know the investigation said, no, there's no illegal wrongdoing. Fine. Maybe there isn't, but you definitely did some disgusting things and that parents should never do to their child. You just disgust me. Well, that's a great way to start your Tuesday. I don't know. This ain't over. Cancel the Stauffers. Do everything in your power to cancel the Stauffers. Everything. But I never advocate for doing something violent or doing doxing or anything like that. Don't ever take my anger for something like that. This is obviously nuanced, but at the same time, every bit of information we keep getting and from credible sources just keeps getting worse. Worse and worse. So the way we do this, people, is we make sure that they're canceled online. So they can no longer use this platform to hurt their kids continuing on, or another kid that they might want to adopt, or whatever it is. And they can't continue to make money off H, which they still are, by the way. That's what we're doing this for. That's why I'm doing these videos. And when I started this thing, I had nobody listening to me. I didn't make any money on YouTube. I wasn't doing all that stuff. And it just exploded. I'm passionate about it, and I'm glad I have a voice, and I'm going to use it to cancel the Stauffers. Sorry. Happy Tuesday, everybody.